Happy Friday, guys. Welcome back to Inside the Lines. We have the NBA playoffs tonight for everyone, of course, and we'll get into some of the weekend games, the Saturday games for you guys. We got some college baseball, we got some MLB, and if you have NFL Draft Round 2 questions, I will be on HQ in about 40 minutes answering all those questions. So we're going to stick to NBA and baseball for the show. Bring in the boys here. We'll take a look at the recap here from the association yesterday. Your girl had a 3-in-1 night, plus 120 on Batum, over 1.5 assists. That was a big play. 2-3 night for Steven, but overall, a lot of green check marks here we're looking at.
I did say, Steven's muted. I did say Steven, rebounds and assists is in jail for Reeves. Just got to go with rebounds.
Yeah, now I'm down to 3-10. But, that's I blame you guys. I said, don't let me do that again. And then you let me do it willy-nilly. Like, I'm not some kind of bully. I'm not going to bite your head off. Just say, hey, don't do that.
Well, I mean, at least Kelly Oubre is out of player prop jail for me. So that was big. He was on the brink, but he stays alive.
Yeah.
He had a big night. I said the role players had to step up. We got the right ones with Reeves and Oubre. Unfortunately for Reeves, it was just a shooting night for you. But you took him points earlier. So
points. Yeah. You could put that on there. It was a 12.5.
I got it on there. Don't you worry.
Oh, okay.
All right. We got a lot of college baseball to rip through here. And if you're not into college baseball, doesn't matter because this is where you make your money on Fridays, Friday night lights. Steven, I'll send you the chat to start answering some NBA questions here. Jake, we got a lot of college baseball to get through. I know the people have been itching for it. And some of them actually happen. All right, but let's start here. I have to imagine that this is a big game here, Oklahoma, Texas.
Yeah, the Red River rivalry. It's tongue twister right there. It's a big in every sport pretty much. And Oklahoma's the better team. Oklahoma actually swept Texas on the road last year, and Oklahoma's a lot better this year, and they're ranked. So any minus 140 is really good value.
Bang. Love to see it. All right, let's go to San Diego. We're taking a run line here against Gonzaga.
Yeah, San Diego at home is a lot better than they are at the road. I'm surprised that the run line is only minus 1.5, considering most times it's be minus 2.5, considering that they're minus 220 favorites. So you're getting good value on the run line. When Gonzaga gets hit, their pitchers get hit, they get hit hard. So I like San Diego to cover the run line. Okay,
let's go. We're going to take another money line here back to Utah, the Utes versus UCLA.
Yeah, this one actually jumped recently from minus 160 to minus 180. I still lean Utah at minus 180. They've been a lot better than UCLA this season. They're really good at home. They're in postseason contention. So I think it's big game, big series for Utah. And considering that they're at home, I would take it probably up to minus 180, minus 190. I still like Utah.
Thoughts on a potential maybe run line here? Do you think it's minus 1.5?
It's probably minus 1.5. I don't mind it. Maybe I'd parlay it with something else instead.
Okay, so we're sticking with the money line here. I like it. Let's move on to a run line we do like here: Houston versus UT Arlington.
Yeah, this is I'm playing the splits here. Houston sucks on the road, but they're really good at home. UT Arlington is bad on the road, and they're not that great at home either. But it's just Houston at home has been really good, and I another one where I like the run line a lot better than the spread.
Okay, we pick our battles here. Let's go to some totals here. We're going to go to Iowa, Nebraska under 13.5.
Yeah, Iowa has been a lot better since they moved Brody Brecht later into like the Sunday starter. Cade Obermueller has been starting Fridays, and he's been solid. Not great, but solid. But Brett Sears for Nebraska has been really good. We have this at 11.6 runs, so I like this.
Okay, that's solid value there, 11.6. I like that. One more college baseball play. Rapid Fire Friday. I like it. We're going to UCF, taking a money line here.
Yeah, and maybe this is the one that you parlay with Utah at minus 180. UCF's at home. I think they should be probably minus 250 favorites here. They're much better at home than they are on the road. They're just ranked a couple weeks ago, so I like UCF here.
Bada bing. Love to see it. 6 college baseball plays, I believe that was. All right, let's move over to the MLB. Going back to a great name here, back to Gunnar Henderson, even better team, Baltimore Orioles, I believe.
Orioles, yes.
Okay, what do we get?
Henderson to score a run at minus 130. Yeah, I mean, it's a little juicy compared to that most of these are like plus money. but he scored a run in 9 of his last 10 games. I like the matchup for him, so I'm playing it again.
Okay. Hit a quick baseball question in the chat here. Bailey Ober, 15.5 is his outs number. Do you like anything about that?
Let me check the model real quick.
You've earned yourself some Q&A time with your rapid fire explanations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Let's see. Minnesota. I mean, I'd probably lean over considering he's going against the Angels, who are either hit or miss. So we have him pretty much at 16 pitching outs. So 16.5. So we lean over here. So it depends on the juice here. So I'd lean over.
Okay. Good stuff. All right, let's go back to a player prop we like here. Thank you, Moose. Moose is pumped up for Lewis Gill. Over 2.5 walks here.
Yeah, Lewis Gill, he has the overs hit in every game this season. So even though we don't have him projected for over, I think we have him at 1.9 walks. We tend to lean under no matter what for pitching at walks, but the over is 4-0. He's going against a Milwaukee team that's 7th in walk rate. They have walked 4 times per game the last 3 games. So I'm fading my Yankees right here with this heel prop.
Yeah, damn. All right, let's take it back down to Florida here. We're going with the Tampa Bay run line.
Yeah, I mean, I love Tampa Bay in this spot. They're pretty good on the road, and they're going against the White Sox, who are terrible pretty much everywhere. I think the White Sox are 2-9 at home.
Baseball, and I know the White Sox are just an objectively terrible baseball team.
Yeah, so even at like minus 260, we have some money line value in Tampa. We don't have run line value because we tend not to have run line value, but we don't have bad value, which is saying a lot here. So I like Tampa. Even at minus 135 on the run line, I think they should win this game easily. Knock on wood.
Love it. All right. Talk about some baseball plays for this Friday. We'll hit them on the recap screen as well. Jake, I'll let you start answering some questions in the chat. I'll bring back Steven. We'll hit the NBA playoffs. I don't have any picks right now myself. Got a little wrapped up with things this morning and the NFL stuff I was getting ready. But tonight on Twitter, maybe I'll bring some stuff out. Nonetheless, Steven has some great model value picks for us today. We will start with the game that's starting very, very soon. Any word on Giannis? Is he out for this game?
He's out. We assumed he'd be out today. So I'm going to go with Pascal Siakam's been dominating with him out, especially. So I've had a pattern, this year where I like turnovers for players that are playing well because the ball's often in their hands more, and it's not. You could still have a great game and have 2 turnovers. I like to buy low value on Siakam because he's only had 1 turnover his last 2 games, so he's kind of due. Strong home trend. By that, he averages more at home. This includes his time in Toronto, obviously, but it's 24-15. And he, despite his last 2 games of just 1 total turnover, he's averaging over 2 in 7 games versus Milwaukee. So prior to the last 2, he was a high turnover rate versus Milwaukee.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. I'm big on the logic of if the ball's going to be in his hands that much, turnovers are bound to happen no matter who you are. I like that.
There's some chatter. I was responding to some questions. It's amazing what Tyrese Halliburton's point line is down to. Somebody said 16.5. I mean, the model's still projected to break out.
Taking shots. It's like the volume's not even there.
Yeah. He's not.
It feels like he's happy being the facilitator and being the assist guy, and like that's his thing this series, and he doesn't seem to be that upset by it. And I think he has Pat Bev on him, who's been playing like 35 plus minutes. That's
probably what it is, that he just why they're up 2-1 or 1-1. They tied it 1 once and they dominated the last game, so why mess with things? Yeah. I wish he just told me that before I bet his PRA in game 1.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel about Giannis. It's like, why bring him back until you're down?
Exactly.
We'll see. All right. We can move on here to Clippers Dallas. This is a game I just haven't – the series I haven't really watched. I've bet on. I haven't watched a lot of it. Kawhi Leonard. Yeah. We're like –
So for the model loves the Clippers in the spot and actually would take them straight with the money line. I don't have the guts for that. So we put in a rating on their plus 4.5. So the Clippers for the road, just so you know, they're nearly as good. They're basically better on the road than they are at home. They have a better point differential on the road. They shoot 3 percentage points higher on the road, 40% from 3. And then Dallas had a great season on the road. They're 28-15 against the spread, but just 21-20 at home. So Dallas isn't like vastly better at home. So that's why in the model, at least the Clippers are actually projected to win more than lose. I like Kawhi over 22.5 points. There's buy low value on his, 15 points in his game 2, his first game in several weeks. But that's because he still took 17 shots, still played 35 minutes. He was just oddly cold from 3, 0 for 5. So since his Toronto year, his scoring average usually jumps in the playoffs. It goes from 25.2 to nearly 30 a game. So this is great plus money you could get on a line that's nearly 3 points lower than his actual road average, where he's 25-12.
Okay. I saw a question about maybe just a statement, but Westbrook, his line set at 7. Or 7, probably 6.5, but I'm assuming you can get like a 7+ board situation.
I don't think. I think we got it much lower than that on his line from what I'm seeing.
How's he been playing this series?
Not much. His PRA line is way down, and so I don't. I mean, I think 8.5 might be his points line. I mean, we have tremendous value. I just didn't like the way things have been going for the last 2 games, and I think in a gotta have it situation. They'll want Kawhi and Paul George to lead the way.
Right. All right. I like that. Let's head over to Minnesota Phoenix here. We got some heavy public steam on Phoenix, assuming, on the grounds of you can't. I mean, other than the Lakers, these teams going home are playing pretty well, and the role players are playing pretty well. So I really like your play for this.
Yeah, we like Minnesota. So this is like the Clipper game where Minnesota was much better at home defensively, but they actually average more points on the road. They shoot a higher percentage on threes on the road. They turn it over less on the road. They rebound nearly as well. Where Phoenix was the same team road and home. So again, I don't know if I have the faith in the big thing in the model is the turnovers that Minnesota is doing better. They're committing nearly 4 fewer turnovers per sim than Phoenix. So that's why we have this kind of surprising projection for Minnesota. I'm going to go with Naz Reid over 12.5 points and rebounds. He's been playing much less usage with Karl-Anthony Towns back. He just won the 6th Man of the Year award. There was some little question whether he deserved it. It was kind of surprising. So maybe I'm hoping they want to show up. My theory is if Minnesota does surprise Phoenix and beat them, Naz Reid will play a big part of it. But then I also think, well, maybe Phoenix does just get hot and overwhelms Minnesota, who's not as motivated to win this. And then Naz Reid gets his minutes that he ordinarily wouldn't get. So there's 2 scenarios. There's the tails, right? There's the high end scenario. Minnesota wins plays well. And then the low end scenario. The middle is where I'm a little nervous. But the big thing is we're projecting fewer minutes and usage than he averaged. So we're projecting 16.4 versus an 18.5 average. But I think the line of 12.5, a 33% drop off is just way too much of an adjustment.
Why? So why is he playing less minutes? Like, why? What was the 17 minutes about?
I mean, it was Karl-Anthony Towns who missed a couple months, and during that time, Naz Reid tore it up.
Okay, that's why the way they were. But I agree. Yeah. Nonetheless, 13 points, even with his normal, cat involved, should still hit. I would.
Yeah, it's points and rebounds. It's not just points. So it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, exactly. That's my sentiments exactly. Like it's a lock. It's 32. It's 67-16 this year.
Yeah, I like that.
Come on. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Saturday slate here. Get some early value while we can. We'll go to Cleveland, Orlando. Orlando really came back, did everything except Franz Wagner didn't hit.
He played well. He just didn't hit his second 3. He took plenty of shots.
I was so close to taking his assists instead of his 3s, and I was like, he's just gonna have an awesome game in general. But it's like
I love
five.
I just love Paolo Banchero. I projected him to have like unlimited shots, and he had like 20 field goal attempts the first half or something, and it was wonderful. So this Darius Garland is like sort of like Tyrese Halliburton right now, where you have these incredibly skilled scoring guards. I mean, they're not selfish guards. They don't shoot too much, but they're really great shooters and really efficient scorers. And they've just both been in a funk, especially Garland, and so the model still has him at 17 points. I just think he's been really passive this series. And after getting blown out by Orlando. And Donovan Mitchell at times was grimacing. The commentator kept on saying it, that he wasn't moving that well. He didn't have a very good game. So maybe they'll need to rely on Garland more for offense if Mitchell is still dealing with that injury. This would have been a lock last season, like 67-7 over this. So it's kind of like coaching getting on Garland's face and saying, dude, you're an all-star. I saw Garland play at MSG at the end of last year. He was awesome. So 15 measly points. I think it's mental.
Mm-hmm. I'd say the same about Tobias Harris. I was like, Nick Nurse must be wringing him by the neck, being like, you're a max contract star player. What's your deal? And he still put up 8 points last night. So yeah, some people in the office were trying to convince me that Toby was the answer last night, not Kelly Oubre. They were
nope.
Mr. Oubre.
Who are these? Fire him.
Put faith. Yeah. Toby is officially in player prop jail.
There's a reason why they're not on our show. You know, exactly. Let them stay in the background with that crap advice.
Yeah. All right. OKC, New Orleans, two of our favorite player prop teams. No demand this season. We're going to SGA, someone we actually don't bet on too much.
No, because usually his lines are so high that, there's never value. We will project him for 30 points and 7 assists and 5 rebounds. What's that?
This one guy on Twitter, he's always in a bad mood and has something to say to me.
Shock.
And he was like, why are we betting on all these role players and da-da-da? Why aren't you betting on like Maxey and whatever? Yeah, like Giannis and Jokic. I'm like, because their lines are inflated, idiot. Like, why? Like, I'm not going to do that all season. Role players are where you make your money, the bench. Anyway, until players situations like this.
Yeah, I was in a bad mood. I shouldn't have wrote that to you. I'm sorry. I don't know what got into me.
We don't know
about something. I was mad about some Austin Reeves play you suggested, and I was taking it out on you with my partner accounts. We're projecting almost 38 points and assists, so he does have a lower road average, but he's still 24-13 over this number. I think there's buy low value. He broke out of this. He's an 8-2 understretch, but he broke out the last game with 38 points and assists. I do think that the rest of the team tends to struggle a little bit more on the road, especially this is the first road playoff game for Chet, and others just won't have what SGA has, which is, I don't know. He's a superstar. He's a megastar.
Yeah.
So I see him getting taking a dominant role, maybe getting tons of shots. Other star guards, in this case, De'Aaron Fox and Curry and those types who average like big numbers, their over versus the Pelicans is 18-13 with an 11-5 recent run. And the last 3, 2 by Fox, very similar player to SGA, and 1 by Curry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this. I think I'm going to have to get some action on this game. I haven't had a second to look into it yet, but I'm curious. I do believe, I have to imagine off the top of the dome that a Lou Dort line is going to be oddly inflated, that I could potentially
we got value on Dort, but he's a classic guy that I could see going over 8 on the road.
Yeah, I can't put myself through that pain, not on a Friday, maybe on like a Wednesday, but I like myself too much on the weekend to do that to myself. All right, Let's move on. Boston at Miami here, coming off the big Miami road dub from my boy Duncan Robinson, who did what he needed to do. We're going to look at the other side here with Derek White.
So, the interesting thing, the model actually leans Miami. I think they got disrespected from the very beginning of this series where FanDuel had them, had Boston as a minus 8,000 to win that's insane. I still think Boston will come back to win the series, but still, it's insulting. So the reason why I like Derek White over 11.5 points is not only the season trend's extremely strong and he has a slightly higher road average, and there's some buy low value because he does have 3 under 10-point games in the last 6. But prior to that, he was on the 9-0 run. Guards who average. So this is an interesting thing. Guards who average, low teens, low to mid teens. Their over is over 50% at Miami versus just 14-21 at home versus Miami. Because for a lot of reasons, Miami, they are, they play great defense historically, but they seem to be more comfortable this season at least, and last season. The same trend where they seem a little more comfortable playing in shootouts at home. They shoot better at home. And so they're a little more. So the average game total in Miami home games is 7 points higher than their road total. And they allow 3 more points per game at home than they do on the road. So I like Derek White to go over 11.5 points, which is well under his average.
I like that nugget there. So they're more concerned about their offensive performance for their home crowd than the defense here when they get home.
Yeah. Maybe they're not as locked in or focused. I don't know. Defensively, at least.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to the last game on Saturday. Denver in LA again. I like this here. We're threading our way through the Lakers lineup here with the role players, and now it seems like it's Hachimura's turn to turn on the fire.
Yeah, I think this is going to go a lot like other games. But then Lakers will probably come out to an early 15-point lead, and then it'll be erased in the blink of an eye. My game flow expectation is Hachimura, who's done nothing this series, but last year was good against Denver in the playoffs and ended the regular season 18-2 over 10.5 points. Mm-hmm. I think Hachimura is going to come out just the law of averages and regressing to the mean. We'll have a nice quick start, maybe hit a three. Get an offensive rebound, put it back. The crowd's going crazy. The Lakers are up 10-1 early. And then
classic.
Denver will blow doors off of them. LeBron will sit. And second half, it'll just be like Denver up by 15 and Hachimura getting plenty of shots to get a measly 11 points.
Yeah. Yeah, we're asking for 11. I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah. Or he just plays like his average game for the last month.
Nothing like asking players to just do what they normally do. Except you might get blamed like me by Franz Wagner, who could only make 1-3 at home, first 2 on the road. But it's not like I'm not upset about it, clearly. Anyway, let's take a look at the recap screen here. We got plenty of college baseball, plenty of MLB here, some NBA. I might be throwing out some NBA picks on Twitter later tonight if I'm feeling crazy. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. But nonetheless, we've been on good momentum here recently, folks. So this is the time to get behind us. If you have any NFL questions, feel free to ask us on Twitter or tune in to me on HQ in about 15-20 minutes here. So that would be pretty cool. Other than that, I think that's all I got. Let's have ourselves a great weekend. Let's pay for some drinks. And we will see you guys on Monday.
All right.